Hello guys, welcome back to Mr. English Talks. I'm truly glad you're here today because what we're about to explore is one of the most universal yet deeply personal challenges we all face at some point in our lives. How to react when someone insults you. Maybe it happened this morning, a snide remark from a coworker. Maybe it's been years, but you still remember that cruel comment from a classmate that made you doubt your worth. Or perhaps you're preparing yourself mentally because you know you'll soon face criticism, mockery, or even public humiliation as you step into a bigger arena, maybe speaking English in public, launching a project, or simply standing for what you believe in. Wherever you are, whatever you're feeling, this message is for you. Because how you respond to an insult doesn't just shape that single moment, it shapes your confidence, your relationships, your mental health, and even your future. And the good news, you don't have to be born with unshakable confidence to handle insults well. It's a skill you can learn, practice, and master starting right now. Let's begin with a truth that might surprise you. Being insulted is not a sign of weakness. It's often a sign that you're visible. Think about it. People don't waste energy insulting those they don't notice. If you're putting yourself out there, if you're learning, growing, creating, or leading, you become a target, not because you're failing, but because you're threatening the status quo. Your courage highlights others' fear. Your progress reflects their stagnation. And sometimes, the only way they know how to cope is by trying to pull you down. That doesn't make their behavior right, but it helps reframe the insult. Instead of thinking, "What's wrong with me?" you can ask, "What does this say about the environment I'm in? Or is this person threatened by my growth?" Suddenly, the insult loses its sting and becomes useful data. But even with that perspective, the raw emotional hit is real. Your heart pounds, your face flushes, your mind races. Why? Because deep down we're wired to care about what others think. Thousands of years ago, being rejected by the tribe meant death. You couldn't survive alone in the wild. So our brains developed a powerful alarm system. Social pain feels like physical pain. That's why a harsh word can hurt as much as a slap. The difference today is that we no longer live in small tribes where XL equals death. We live in a world of billions where your value isn't determined by one person's opinion. But your nervous system doesn't know that. It still responds like you're fighting for survival. So the first step in handling an insult isn't about words, it's about calming your body. Here's how: the moment you hear or read something hurtful, pause and breathe. Not just any breath. Take a slow, deep inhale through your nose for 4 seconds, hold it gently for 2, then exhale fully through your mouth for 6. This isn't just relaxing, it's a biological reset. Deep breathing activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the part that says, "You're safe, you're not in danger." It lowers your heart rate, clears the mental fog, and gives you back access to your rational brain. Without this pause, you're operating from your amygdala, the fear center, which leads to either fight, angry retaliation, flight, shutting down, or freeze, feeling paralyzed. But with just 10 seconds of conscious breathing, you shift from reaction to response. And that tiny gap is where your power lives. Now, once you're calm, ask yourself a critical question. What is my goal here? This is the compass that guides everything that follows. Do you want to defend your dignity, preserve a relationship, set a boundary, end the conversation, or simply walk away with your peace intact? Your answer changes your approach completely. If your goal is to win or humiliate the other person in return, you've already lost, because now you're playing their game. But if your goal is to protect your self-respect while staying true to your values, you've already won, no matter what they say next. Let's explore different scenarios and how to respond with wisdom, not just emotion. Scenario 1. The casual insult from a stranger or acquaintance. Imagine you're at a cafe, practicing English with a friend, and a nearby customer smirks and says, "You sound funny, do you even know what you're saying?" Your instinct might be to snap back or shrink in shame. But remember, this person is a stranger. They don't know your journey, how you study late at night, how you push through fear to speak, how far you've come. Their comment says everything about their lack of empathy and nothing about your ability. In this case, your best move is often graceful disengagement. You can simply smile, look them in the eye, and say calmly, "Thanks for your opinion," then turn back to your conversation, or even better, say nothing at all. Silence, when delivered with composure, is incredibly powerful. It communicates, "Your words are so irrelevant, they don't even deserve my energy." And then you continue living your life as if they're background noise, which is exactly what they are. Scenario 2. The passive-aggressive comment at work or school. Now, what if the insult comes from a colleague or classmate, someone you see regularly? Maybe in a meeting someone says, "Wow, took you long enough to figure that out," with a sarcastic tone. This is trickier because you have an ongoing relationship to manage. Here, a calm, direct response works best. You might say, "I appreciate your feedback, but I'd prefer it if we could keep comments constructive." Notice the language. You acknowledge their input. "I appreciate your feedback," while setting a clear standard. Keep comments constructive. You're not attacking, you're inviting respect. If it's a pattern, repeated jabs or microaggressions, document it, and if necessary, speak to a supervisor or HR, but always lead with professionalism. Your goal isn't to make them look bad, it's to create an environment where you can thrive. Scenario 3. The hurtful insult from someone you care about. This is the hardest. When a friend, family member, or partner says something cruel, "You'll never succeed," "You're so lazy," "Why can't you be more like X?" The pain cuts deep because it comes from someone whose opinion matters. In these moments, your first job is still to pause and breathe. Don't respond in the heat of emotion. Say, "I need a moment," and step away if you can. Later, when you're calm, approach them with curiosity, not accusation. Say when you said exact words, "It really hurt me. Can you help me understand what you meant?" Often, they'll backtrack or admit they were stressed, tired, or projecting their own fears. This opens the door to healing, but if they double down, if they refuse to take responsibility or keep repeating hurtful patterns, then you have a deeper decision to make. Is this relationship serving my growth? Or is it holding me back? Love shouldn't require you to shrink yourself or accept disrespect. Sometimes, the strongest response is to create distance, not out of anger, but out of self-love. Scenario 4. Online trolling or public humiliation. In the age of social media, insults can go viral in seconds. A snarky comment, a cruel meme, or a public call-out can make you feel exposed and ashamed. But remember, online cruelty is often performative. Trolls seek attention, clicks, or a reaction, and your emotional response is their reward. So the most powerful countermove is strategic silence. Don't engage. Don't defend yourself in the comments. 99% of the time, it fuels the fire. Instead, block, report, and move on. If it's serious threats, harassment, document it and involve platform moderators or authorities. But for the rest, let it go. As author Paulo Coelho once said, "If you spend your time proving to fools that you're not a fool, you'll become one." Your energy is too valuable to waste on people who thrive on chaos. Now let's talk about what not to do, because avoiding these traps is half the battle. Don't retaliate with a sharper insult. Yes, it might feel satisfying in the moment, but it drags you down to their level. It also gives them ammunition. See, they're just as nasty. True strength isn't about winning a verbal duel, it's about refusing to play the game. Don't internalize the insult as truth. Just because someone says you're stupid, ugly, or a failure doesn't make it true. Separate the fact they said something hurtful from the fiction. It defines you. Write down your actual strengths, achievements, and values, and read them when self-doubt creeps in. Don't seek validation from the insulter. Begging for an apology or trying to prove them wrong hands them ongoing power over your peace. Your worth doesn't need their stamp of approval. Don't suppress your feelings entirely. It's okay to feel hurt, angry, or embarrassed. Emotions are messengers, not enemies. Acknowledge them. This hurts, and that's okay. Then process them in healthy ways, journaling, talking to a trusted friend, or physical movement like walking or running. Here's another powerful mindset shift. View insults as feedback, even if it's poorly delivered. Not every insult is valid, but sometimes harsh words contain a grain of truth you can use for growth. Maybe you were late to that meeting. Maybe your presentation could have been clearer. Instead of rejecting the entire message because of its tone, ask, "Is there something useful here I can learn from?" If yes, thank your ego for stepping aside and take the lesson. If no, discard the message and the messenger. And remember, your response is a reflection of your character, not their insult. You can't control what people say about you, but you can control who you become in response. Will you become bitter or wiser, defensive or grounded, reactive or resilient? Every time you choose calm over chaos, dignity over drama, you're not just handling an insult, you're building an unshakable sense of self. Now let's talk about prevention. While you can't stop all insults, you can reduce their frequency and impact by cultivating unshakable self-worth. How? Start by defining your values. What matters most to you? Kindness, integrity, growth, creativity. Live by those standards, and external opinions lose their grip. When you know who you are, you don't need others to confirm it. Also, surround yourself with people who see you, not just your surface, but your effort, your heart, your potential. These are your mirrors of truth. When an insult comes, their voices in your mind will drown out the noise. You're capable, you're loved. This doesn't define you. Practice self-compassion daily. Talk to yourself like you'd talk to your best friend. When you make a mistake or face criticism, say, "This is hard, but I'm learning. I'm enough as I am, and I'm growing." Self-compassion isn't self-pity, it's emotional armor. And finally, use insults as fuel for your mission. Every great leader, artist, and innovator faced ridicule. Einstein was told he'd never amount to anything. Oprah was fired from her first TV job for being too emotional. J.K. Rowling's manuscript was rejected 12 times. Did they let those insults stop them? No, they used them as proof they were on the right path, because real change always threatens the comfortable. So the next time someone tries to dim your light, don't waste energy arguing with the darkness. Stand tall, breathe deep, and keep shining, because the most powerful response to an insult isn't a clever comeback. It's a life so full of purpose, peace, and integrity that their words simply can't touch you. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to this channel.